Just do a little video on this bread maker. These are great bits of kit. I mean, they just take all the grunt work out of making bread. Great to have a nice fresh loaf every few days. But they do take a bit of maintenance, and to be fair, we've let this one go to rack and ruin. Try to keep it fairly clean on the outside. There's your seed and nuts dispenser. That all looks pretty good. And this doesn't look too bad because the main thing is you don't use anything too abrasive on it, and because this is a non-stick finish, it's like Teflon. But take a look in here. That is rust, probably just from leaving the bread in there for a while and all the moisture coming out of the bread. Maybe we should take it out. I would suggest that's what you need to do. Just every time the bread's finished, take it out of the machine straight away, and then wipe down any moisture. And also, after every use, you just want to brush all the crumbs out, because the crumbs are collecting water and, you know, just making the whole situation worse. So I'm going to get my hoover in there now and suck out all the crumbs, and then we're going to try and deal with this rust if we can. We've got some bicarbonate of soda. As we all know, it's got the mildly abrasive effects on things. I mean, I'm not unrealistic. I don't think this is going to do wonders, but we'll give it a go. Failing that, there is a product I've got which is like a rust remover chemical. Obviously it's not ideal to be putting in your food stuff, but let's just spread that around, let that sit for a little while, and then we'll again use this because it's just very mildly abrasive. You also want to be cleaning the heating elements, just wiping them down gently. So we'll put a bunch more of this in there. Try and spread it around. You can use a little bit of water, but not too much, because obviously you've got electrical and mechanical elements in here. Right, we will leave that as it is. Put a bit down there. And we'll come back to that in a little while. Okay, so I've just removed all of that bicarb around the edge, and you can see it hasn't really done much. Can't use anything more abrasive, so we're going to have to resort to the rust remover. So I'm going to grab that now. Right, so this is the product. We have to just paint it on. It's got the instructions on the back. Paint it on every sort of 30 minutes or so for 2 or 3 hours, and every time you paint it on, it removes a little bit more rust, allegedly. I've used it before. It sort of semi-works, so let's give that a go. Give it a good old clean out afterwards, obviously, so we don't have any of this chemical, horrible stuff in here. Right, we'll leave that for 30 minutes and then come back and put some more on. It's definitely doing something. It's definitely doing something. I feel like definitely in some areas, as you're watching it, it's disappearing. It's getting ever so slightly thinner. So you can almost see that in that area there. But this is what you have to do. You have to just keep applying it, keep working at it. I've probably applied like 10 coats now, but it is working, and it will mean less damage to the surface by sanding or using a metal scourer just keep working it, just keep working it. Like this, and then I'll leave it. Just go over the whole area. Try and do as much as I can. I've really worked that in now. We'll just leave that again for another 30 minutes and then we'll come back, apply some more. But what you'll notice is this green stuff, it is doing something. It's sort of eating away, because slowly it doesn't look so green anymore. It sort of disappears. I think that's just it reacting with the rust, and you tend to get these little streams of brown streaks where it's almost turned into like a liquid. So yeah, it does work, it just takes some time. Well, it's looking a darn sight better than it was, isn't it? Just interesting to see there where it's all pitted. Do you see that? That's where the rust has been eating away at the metal for so long. God, I'm embarrassed about this. Anyway, just thought I'd do a little side experiment. So I cleaned all the gunk out, all the chemical rust cleaner, and allegedly the good old cure-all of vinegar is going to save the day. So I boiled it up because, you know, hot vinegar definitely, I know for a fact hot vinegar works better than room temperature vinegar, because I've used it in my bathroom before and it definitely works better. So I just boiled that up in the kettle. I cleaned my kettle at the same time, which is good. And yeah, let's see. But at the end of the day, it's science, right? 5% vinegar is never going to be as good as, say, 35% hydrochloric acid, if acid even does anything to this. So allegedly acetic acid likes to eat vinegar. So let's see what happens. Well, it definitely works, but the problem with vinegar is that it strips everything else off with the rust. So it's actually done a lot more damage to the... God, it looks awful. Oh God. Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend that. And in fact, you probably saw here was all clean before, and now it's all got rust on it. So I'm going back to the rust remover chemical. That seems to be doing the job, but oh my God, it looks awful. Look at it, it's all gone yellow here, isn't it? Oh God. Oh, that's coming off. But still. Well, let's see how it is when we're done. Well, this is the end result. I did have to apply that rust remover a lot, like 30 times or something. But as you can see, that is a darn sight better than it was. But what do we do going forward? Because as soon as you start cooking with bread again, you get all that moisture in there. It's going to rust straight away. I looked online, trying to look at what do you do with. There's not really anything to repair non-stick because it's a manufactured process. So I thought about what's the material made of. Steel. That would be like a steel cooking pan. So how do you stop a steel cooking pan from rusting? You just use regular old cooking oil. Don't need any special oil. Just canola, rapeseed oil. Just smooth that on there each time. We're going to hoover it out, as I said before, each time we finish bread making, but smooth that on, and hopefully it won't give a black patina. Maybe it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't do the same thing as cast iron, but just keep laying a thin layer of oil on there. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, so the cycle's been run, and now I'm just going to oil everything up. With vegetable oil. Let's see what happens. Well, I finally did it. I finally looked at the instruction manual. Care and maintenance. So, all this non-stick finish in here. Obviously it says you know, soak it and use a sponge. Nothing more harsh than a sponge, not even a scourer. That's probably where we've been going wrong. I mean, I tried at the beginning, but I can't control everybody uses this thing. So, I mean, I knew 100% that would damage it. Obviously it does with pots and pans. The other thing it says is to remove this lid, which I would imagine most bread makers are the same. You can see all that gunk in there, so we've got to clean that out. And then this thing also pops out, so that can be wiped down. I didn't realise that before. So yeah, we'll clean all those up, and general maintenance, just give everything a wipe down, as I say, hoover around every time, and then yeah, just you do need to keep on top of it. So there we have the finished article. All looking nice and clean on the outside. Let's have a little look on the inside. Not too bad there. The tin's obviously reasonably good. And then this is where we've oiled it. I've run a second baking cycle to dry the oil out. So you're going to have to do that, as I say, every time. Just keep on top of all the dirt in there and just give it a light all around, just like you would do if you're baking something in a pan in the oven. Yep. Was it worth it? I mean, from an environmental point of view, saving the planet, of course it was. And you only have to do this, you know, once in a lifetime sort of thing. Would I do it again? No, I wouldn't. It's a lot of work. Was it worth it? I mean, financially, the machines probably cost a couple of £100. If you got a good job in London, which a lot of people have, it's not going to be worth their time. Or you could just live with the rust, which is not going to kill you. It's not going to do anything. I just wanted to get rid of it because it was ugly. So yeah, up to you really. I hope that was useful, and we'll see you on the next one.